Well, I would have a forest full of trees if I turned a new leaf every time I broke a promise that I thought I would keep. And I'ma harbor that in secret. It's hard to hear your feedback. I'm playing like the Phantom of the Opera on a keypad. Hopping off the deep end happily, ain't no wisdom in my teeth left. Just cavities, I've been trying to keep my feet wet. Walking over water, about to run a little farther. Doing an Our Father, but you probably atheist. I'm still speeding like Dennis Hopper. There's a bomb up on this bus, so where the fuck's Keanu Reeves at? You best to relax, I'm staying on my grind. Feeling Amy off this wine like I ain't going back to rehab. Feeling like a bipolar reject. I'm even high when I'm sober, and my mind's a solar eclipse. A born-again fetus who should have been aborted. Hopped about my mommy's chest like, what's up, I'm important. That was morbid, dog. And kinda sorta wrong, but nothing's off limits. I've been ripping down walls like Gorbachev. I do it for my dogs and do it for the cause, yeah. You do it for the blogs and do it for applause, yeah. You do it for the wrong reason, so I have to judge. The beat up on your song is decent, but your rapping sucks. That's why I can't endorse it. But still you're in the stores and people flock with open wallets to cop your garbage recordings. But I keep my hands in my pocket. That's ironic, like Alanis Morissette. I hate this game, but I can't just forfeit. Don't want the fame, but I'll take the fortune. The moolah, they say what you give to it. You end up attracting to ya. That's why I put my 2 cents in and got some change back. Guess it all makes sense in my brain, man. My bedroom feels too small for me, but the outside world's like doomsday, honey. I'll go Usain once you say run it. Lot of fish in the say, but 2 ain't nothing. My bedroom feels too small for me, but the outside world's like doomsday, honey. I'll go Usain once you say run it. Lot of fish in the say, but 2 ain't nothing. There's a rip tide coming, hold on. I think the sky's falling on us. There's a rip tide coming, hold on. I think the sky's falling on us, yeah. Falling on us, yeah. Falling, yeah. There's a rip tide coming, hold on. I think the sky's falling on us, yeah. Cloud 9 never seemed so far away. Guess there's only so much bullshit I can tolerate. Treat the booth like my pool pit, I'm trying to congregate. But my pursuit of artistry has led my heart astray. I try to stay up on a straight and narrow path, but every time I look, it's like sand from this hourglass is pouring outward. But I'm all about my paper like I'm Jim Halpert. The top is just a shot away, so baby, give me shelter. Yeah, I'm South Philly's own Lil Helper. The Wolf of Broad Street, they call me the young Jordan Belfort. My story developing Corey Feldman, the way they can't stand by me, like I just brought him here to see a dead body. Yeah, and that body's mine, so I'm the one you hide behind. Trying to find peace in the deep end of this violent mind. Praying for Vegas, bowling for Columbine. Download it for free and sold up on Spotify. Like here, yo, sell your soul up on the dotted line or stay independent and sell.
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back, traders, to another live stream here. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. We will be looking at NQYM. I got some funded accounts loaded up. We'll get to some live trading. I wanted to get this started a little bit earlier because I do have a setup forming on YM. Talked about that yesterday. Going to try to hop on a little bit earlier with you guys. But first, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders lose money. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing you see or hear from me is financial advice or a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. Read the full disclaimer. Make your own trading decisions. If you decide to trade, also read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content. Now, let's hop back over. We got a 3-pack of funded accounts loaded up here on TopstepX. I am looking at Micro YM. This is the 5-minute chart. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, guys and girls? Thanks for hopping on. Let's see if we can't get this show rolling. We had some 8:30 a.m. news. What's up? What's up? Good morning, Zach. Yeah. We will. I'll answer some of these questions. Thanks for chatting, guys. I'm just looking at this this chart real quick. Feel free to throw trading questions, comments. You know what you got going on with your own stuff in the chat, and we will we'll talk about it, man. I'm just doing a quick double check that I don't have news. We don't have news. We got past the PPI unemployment claims. I don't know why my Bookmap looks like this for NQ. This looks very odd. Am I on the right contract? Why does it look like this? Okay, so this is kind of looking like how it looks right before news. Book gets extremely thin. I'm wondering if this is actually what's going on, or if my Bookmap data is just messed up. YM looks good. I got a different data provider for YM. That looks good. Okay, so no news coming up right now. 10:30 natural gas. Don't really have to worry about that. We got about 60 seconds to the open. Yeah, it's game time on this one. I'm tempted short, right? So same play, right? Same exact play I've been taking all week. I'm tempted short on this into the open. We could see a pop and continuation up above these highs. I'm going to give this thing just a second, but I am looking aggressively short into the open. Yeah, no, I'm not going to take it. Not going to take it. This is what I was waiting for, just to see if we saw really aggressive. If we make it up here, I'm getting short. Right back to VWAP, area of high volume, some consolidation overnight. But this is the first level, right? The high from this news wick. This level is the same one on my chart from yesterday. Let's see if we get the wick right down to VWAP. I think we're gonna. Yeah, that was just too aggressive to the upside, breaking above this high to enter short. But the play is a short move right back down into VWAP, right back down into this area of high volume on the visible range volume profile, in a way that I could structure risk in a positive way. I'm just not going to take this one this morning. This is what I was looking at, guys. We'll see how it plays out. It's just a hair aggressive. I don't know why. I don't know why Bookmap looks like that on NQ. It's kind of coming back to normal. That's the play. Short right back to VWAP. Like I've been talking about all this week. Very, very simple play on Dow. I think we might see it play out right here, right now. But that was aggressive to be breaking above this level and jumping in short when we have another level over here, right? We have another zone that we can come up and test above the highs of yesterday's news wick really quickly, and that would take me out. So if it plays out right here, I'm out. You know, I'm cash. I missed that initial setup, but that's the play. It's a test of a zone, support, resistance, supply, demand, area of interest, whatever you want to call it, above or below price. And looking to either short back to VWAP or long back to VWAP, back to an area of high volume. If this visible range volume profile resets, you can see that's right down here, you know, in most of these areas, right near VWAP, again, which is typically just the area of consolidation, highest area traded over, or at least the volume weighted average price over the London and Asia session. So it's leveraging volatility right at the open. Yeah, you know, this was okay. This is not terrible. It's just not as good, man. It's just not as clear. Again, I'd probably go 60 to 80 points. You know, right to VWAP is about 80 points. But with that really aggressive push to the upside and this zone being here, it's keeping me out. It's just keeping me out of this one. But I think we're going to watch it play out. So we could see. You know, we could watch the trades play out even if we don't execute on them. This really isn't a missed opportunity for me with this zone being up here. It's just, you know, it's not like I have another zone that's close lined up at the exact same level. We got another area that we could have possibly jumped to. But let's see if we hit VWAP. Yep, there it is. There it is. Watching the same setup play out over and over and over again. There it is, guys. Would have paid today. I didn't take it. Really aggressively pushing at the open, cracking above this high a second time, right? Had we already gotten above it? No, just sweeping it for the first time. But that's the play. Short back to VWAP, long back to VWAP, off the open, at the open, near the open. This gave an opportunity. You know, right here, right in the middle of this zone, right above this high. I'm just gonna have to get more aggressive on these. This zone, again, this zone being right here, I thought we could easily just continue that pop up really aggressively before potentially turning. So I would have taken it from up here, above this high. But that's the play right there, guys. That's it. 60 to 80 point stop loss would have been fine on this, would have been nice and wide. And would have played similarly to yesterday. So I'm going to have to watch this with you guys. Journal I'm actually going to leave that and journal it. let's say I got in right around there, maybe a 60-point stop loss over a 1-to-1, right back to VWAP. Let's say we jumped right out right there. Yep. Now we come down into this area, really erasing this 8:30 news candle. I'm just curious if this is going to turn into a massive down day. YM is taking off like a rocket to the upside, and ES is kind of chopping. Initially, I'm looking at this long here on YM. Yeah, we're kind of choppy, man. We're kind of choppy. This is pretty back and forth. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for hopping on. Appreciate you being here with me. Hopped on a little bit early. Had the setup. Was eyeballing it. Didn't take it. Just a little bit concerned about a secondary zone above price and cracking to the upside. But I got to get more aggressive on this. I've watched it play out too many times like that. And that one I'm going to journal as a good missed opportunity. I kept myself out of that one. Looking to the left. Looking at this zone here. Fearful that the stop's just going to get run. Again, it's an aggressive trade like we talked about yesterday. I got a super, super solid entry. I would have just had another one right there. Right back to VWAP. Simple play that I've got to execute on. So that is one that I'm going to put in the book as a good missed opportunity. Not to worry about anything looking left as far as another zone. If we're already testing a zone, if we're sweeping above highs of the session, and there's a nice, good way to structure risk back down to VWAP. That's my initial thought process on that one this morning. Right back to this area of high volume. Here we go. Through VWAP and right back to this area of high volume, finding some support. Very, very simple movements at a Dow. I'm more tempted to say that we are going to push longer on this thing. I think all of these indices are at an interesting point. Just make sure my chart markup is straight on NQ. Yep. I think this could be a big push to the upside today. If we fall out of bed, either way, I think we could see a larger move today. We fall out of bed on this. It can definitely be a move to the downside, but so far this is making the case for a larger run to the upside. We broke directly to the upside, not a similar move out of NQ at all, right? Dow and NQ living in their own worlds. Opening up right at prior day high, cracked to the upside really aggressively. Somewhat indecisive, but bullish on the news candle at 8:30. And really aggressive push up. Test of a discretionary level that I have marked off. All of these highs back here, right? Looking on the 5 and the 15 minute. That's where this is coming from. Got close, didn't sweep it. We start to break above this and or this, larger movement potentially. Larger movement. This can turn into a big daily candle. So I'm going to stay patient on this morning. I missed my nice setup on Dow. I'm going to stay patient on this. We're obviously seeing some volatility. That's aggressive, right? Immediate almost 100-point turn back down, so 80-point turn back down to VWAP. I'm going to stay patient. Too much volatility. Very, very aggressive. This could be setting up for a long. If your thesis is we're going to continue breaking, we're going to form a really, really big push to the upside today. But this is aggressive. This is aggressive. Wow. Yep, selling right back off. Eating up liquidity to the downside on Bookmap, which looks like it returned to some normal looking data on here. Yeah, waiting to see what we get out of NQ. I'm going to be more patient on this thing. I think again, large volatility, really really aggressive movement to the upside and then straight back down. I'm going to wait for some structure. I'm going to be late to the party on this. I'm not going to take it in the first 10 minutes of the session. Dow to me still feels like a long. Short back to VWAP played. There's not a zone being tested that's far enough away from VWAP to take it the second time, but you could see the movement out of Dow that I'm looking for and talking about often. It's this back and forth movement aggressively off of zones above and below price, right back to the area of high volume, right back to VWAP. Very, very simple. This was a missed one. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself on that one, but that's part of it, right? And I'll talk about it live. You know, if I say, hey, missed solid opportunity, that was it for sure. Talked myself out of that one looking left. Again, a little bit of hesitation's okay, just because we do have this high over here and we're cracking to the upside. On another day, that does push up higher before coming back down. But I got to take that one. I got to take it here and then take the stop out, take it again, or just let it ride and, you know, not touch it if we start to blast to the upside. But it's the first move. It's the first, you know, retest of the area of high volume. It's not waiting for it to happen and then try to find a second entry or anything like that. So frustrating, but that's part of it, man. Part of it. Even at this level, I will, you know, I'll miss solid opportunities, talk myself out of a good trade, and that's a little bit frustrating, but it happens. Don't mind talking about it. Yeah, again, my bias is long on these, just general. If we zoom way out, and then I'll check the chat, answer some questions. If we zoom way out, this is looking choppy, right? You know, here's the 4 hour. We go way, way, way out, you know, really, really clean uptrend month over month. And we move into this area from, you know, December, middle of December into this year. It's been pretty choppy, right? You know, objectively, this is kind of choppy. We look like we are trying to put higher lows into resistance. So, you know, this is my bullish bias from a higher time frame. You know, we're not drifting lower, hammering into, you know, a level down here. We're hammering into levels up here. And we're kind of putting, not kind of, we're putting higher lows, objectively, into this level. We're not putting higher highs in. We're not breaking above. We're finding really aggressive resistance here. You know, massive impulsive moves to the downside. But we're stair-stepping our way back up to these levels. So again, I'm interested if and when we break to try to hold on to a larger movement to the upside on some of these. But this is choppy. Overall, this is very choppy back and forth, especially intraday for NYSE session. For me, at least, maybe you say, no, Zach, this is beautiful. I've been killing it. That's totally cool. Different, you know, different traders, different styles. For me, and from what I see from a lot of guys and talking to them, this is difficult. This is difficult to work with on low time frames intraday. It's pretty choppy back and forth. But zooming back into the 5 minute, kind of talking about where we're at. Big push up after that gnarly sell off at the news candle. Caught it on Dow. NQ was way stronger. Opened up, you know, session changeover, cracked to the upside. Overnight session for Asia looked pretty strong. Started to sell off into London. Found some buyers. News candle bought us back above VWAP, back above prior day high. We cracked to the upside at 9:30, and we came aggressively back down. You know, 115 points, 460 ticks off of the high. Finding support here, a lot of volatility at prior day high. This could be a long setup right here, right now, where you say, hey, this is enough for me to get long. We came back down to VWAP, tested it. Now we're going to bounce to the upside. I think it's still a little aggressive, but this may be a blast-off day. We're trying it, and oftentimes before we go higher, we crack above, pull aggressively back down, take everybody out that was getting long up here, and then we come back and do it again. I'm going to stay patient on this. My thesis is long, but I'm going to wait to see if we get volatility. We come back down, you know, sweep below some of these overnight lows. That's what I'm cautious of here. Good morning. I'm an ES trader, but would like to dip my toes in NQ and YM. New to your channel, but not your socials or Discord. Awesome. Appreciate having you on today. Appreciate everybody being here. Zach, I screwed up yesterday, overtraded, and ended up with a huge loss. Very sad about it. Wish I joined your stream yesterday. It would have stopped me from getting in this situation. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Sorry to hear that. Overtraded, took a big L. I would do a couple things. One, I'd step away for a minute. I don't know that I'd be trading right off the rip this morning. Usually that stays with you. It messes with your emotions. It messes with your ability to make good decisions. So stepping away for a day is usually a good idea. I'd then go back and journal. I journal right after just to talk about what happened right then and there. But I would journal afterwards, kind of write out what happened, what led up to you over trading and ending up with a huge loss, what was the first trigger. And then I would decide how I can put some processes in place to limit myself. Am I on TopstepX where I can lock myself out? Is that an option for me? Am I able to set daily loss limit, max loss limit, max risk per trade? And then how can I stick to these? That's how I would try to work towards not having that happen again. But part of the journey, man. Part of the journey. Keep your head up. Good morning. I think this is a good short on MNQ. If it works, so clears the 780s. I think it's taking out longs. Will override. Will overall be long, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm long bias on this again. That's gnarly volatility. I don't want to jump right back in. Gun to my head, I'm long here. Stop loss below session low. That would be my play. But I think we could easily come back down, chop around first. And if I was going to take a play like that, I don't know that it's something that I would hold all day. But we're pushing right back up after testing VWAP here. Yeah, Dow looks like it wants to rally too. Yeah, I think that's the classic frustrating NQ. Blast off to the upside. A lot of other sessions, right? We waited and we said, hey, man, if we just hopped in right at that first breakout, we would have caught it. And the thing just pumps. Today, came back down to take everybody out. Trade, 15, 16 points below just these lows of consolidation after the news move in pre-market. And now we blast right back off. And we make it really difficult to structure risk once we actually get some direction. Because from the highs of this to the lows of the session is already, 120 points. So we'll see. We'll see if we're going to chop around here for a bit. I'm not going to jump right into this. This is volatile. It's very back and forth, very aggressive. That looked like we were going to make a decision to the upside, but not until we get back above this high, right? This could be really aggressive, break of VWAP, pull back, and continuation lower, like stupid aggressive to the downside. Which from a higher time frame could make sense to clear everybody out that's getting long right now, right? It just depends on what time frame you're looking at. So I'm gonna wait till we get some direction, till we get some structure to trade off of, to look for it on NQ. That's my game plan. Dow, if you hopped on late, beautiful setup on Dow. Did not take it. Something I'm gonna journal as a missed entry. Very, very simple. Test of resistance right back down to VWAP. Same trade that I've been looking at that's been paying all week. Hesitated based on structure over here, but in review, when you're not about to put money on the line, you have more time to think. I'm not happy about that. Not happy about that. So let's see what we get out of our friend NQ. Yeah, I'm going to look to take this either way again, because I think this can be a larger day. If it ends up being choppy, I could be in trouble trying to trade it directionally without really, really good entries, aggressively counter entries. But I think we could be in for a larger day here. So I'm interested to see if we break down or if we turn and burn to the upside over here. This thing lagging a little bit. This thing's bugging out. Ooh, sorry guys. reset my whole plan here. Yeah, we're good. Refreshing looks good. API looks good. Okay, cool. Noticing a little bit of lag there. I didn't like that. Yeah, we're spot on. We're spot on now. Every once in a while, TopstepX needs a refresh. That's what I notice. And then zoom back out, let VWAP reset, kind of get your whole thing going. Let's see what NQ's got for us today. Let's see what NQ's got for us. Nothing super. Oh yeah, no, we got liquidity down at 800. I was gonna say nothing super standoutish on Bookmap, but we do have some orders to the upside and downside. 22,000, nice round number, and at 21,800 down below price. We got about 145 at 22,000 way up here, and 84 down to 800. Another 71, 72 is flashing at 775. That is quantity of orders sitting above and below price based on Bookmap. But again, appreciate you guys hopping on. Hit like, hit subscribe. More than happy to have you guys on. I think this is a good short. Yeah, we read that one. Very pivotal area where it could either break out of this area or chop and break out tomorrow to the upside. Yeah, right. We are at a pivotal area on higher time frames. I definitely see this. You know, looking at the 1 hour, up near these, you know, high 900s to 22,000. Tested it multiple times. The more zones tested, the less it is respected. Maybe you know that axiom. If we break, this absolutely could be a push to the upside. Again, we've got some important levels up here. Do we want to pick a direction, or are we just going to continue to chop here? You know, so far, really zoomed out, it's fairly choppy. We do have direction week over week, right? You know, big sell-offs and then recoveries day over day. But pretty aggressive movements back and forth. Really aggressive movements back and forth. But right back to VWAP, and now we're kind of just sitting here, hanging out. Dow looking like it doesn't want to move lower just yet, but I'm likely just going to stick on NQ now for the time being. Missed my nice play off the open there. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the 15 because that gives me a really good indication that this was a huge wick to the upside, but this is very indecisive. We blast back up. This is gonna form a very strong bullish, bullish formation in price action and market structure. And that could be an indication that, you know, we are going to break and it's worth it to try. An entry from down here, if we wanted to anticipate that, makes a whole lot more sense. With a stop loss down below session lows, definitely couldn't put it all the way down here. That's just too wide. This is too volatile. You know, it would be something like this. You know, looking for an extension. Give you a way to manage risk, you know, on the way up. But this is just too choppy at the moment, at least for me. Failing to get back below VWAP, so this is a fine play. I just don't want to risk the stop out now rather than just waiting. If we do start to blast off, look for some structure, try to find a way in for a continuation. But gun to my head, I'd be long from down here. Have you picked people for the case study? What's up? So if you talk to me so far in a one-on-one call, that's the next step. If I didn't reach back out to you on Instagram or wherever you saw the post, I will. I'll shoot you a message and we'll set up a time to talk. But shoot me a message if you haven't already on Instagram, and that's the next step. Talk to you for 30 minutes. Yeah. At least in the morning, this may be short on MNQ, may recover. We're struggling to make it higher, higher highs, higher time frames. We're struggling, I see, to make higher highs on higher time frames. Yeah, we are. We're struggling to break above. But for me, that type of formation, you know, when we get something that looks like this, and we have price action and structure looking bullish, right? We come up to a zone, we find some aggressive resistance, right? Impulsive move, and then we kind of chop back up. We find bullish structure again, we come up again, and then we aggressively sell off. That's showing that, you know, sellers are really defending this level. But the more we continue to do this, and we put higher lows into that zone, essentially we're hammering into a resistance zone, putting higher lows in, the more likelihood that if and when we do break, we blast to the upside. The caution you have to use here is, looking historically, we sold off stupid aggressively from that level. So, you know, if you're trying to buy the breakout here and here and here, there's a good chance you're going to get stopped on a pullback. So I'm not looking to be the first buyer on a break above trying to catch the breakout, because you'd have to take so many L's on the way there. But I am noticing, you know, a serious zone when I see something like this. And I do see the more times it is tested, the more likely, you know, it is to break eventually. But on the short time frame, you could be taking sells off that level and, you know, taking nice wins. So it's a pivotal point. You know, it's a pivotal point on the chart. That's kind of how I see this. Now we are going to try this again. We're going to try this to the upside. And like I just said, we form a 15-minute, you know, candle breaking above these highs after some, you know, big wick to the upside. That's really making the case for a move higher. Buying right at this zone that we're talking about, it's tricky, man. It's tricky. This could be a larger movement to the upside. Could absolutely be a larger movement to the upside. So I'm looking long. I'm trying to find a way in. A good way to structure risk to get in with this opportunity without jumping in too quickly and potentially getting caught in the chop. So I'm almost looking at this like it may be a wait type of trade. You know, I missed my nice opportunity on Dow right off the open, but I'm going to watch with you guys and see if something sets up. I don't want to have a no trade session, but I don't know. If this starts to blast, I'm not in it from down here with my stop loss down below this low. I'm going to have to wait for more structure, right? But I'm making that decision now, saying I don't want to get in right here, just anticipating a blast off with a stop loss right here and not be able to survive a wick down. I'm going to wait for some more structure. Dow still chopping. Take a look at MES. We'll go around the U.S. indices. Yeah, looking strong as well. Really strong. Not as much of a blast off at the open. Just a quick wick up and then a pull right back down to VWAP in the first 5 minutes. But we are coming back up to test these highs. Well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. What case study? Yeah, man. If so I work with guys one-on-one in paid coaching programs, right? In a one-on-one coaching program. I really don't talk much about it. I don't hype it up too much. But every once in a while, I am looking to grab hold of a couple advanced traders to work with that are interested in making that next step up. Not for everybody. At least 1 to 2 years in the markets. You know, you have strategy down, you have your approach down, and I dedicate an enormous amount of time working with you one-on-one. That's the deal. If you're interested in that, man, in the Discord or on my socials, hit me up. We book a 30-minute call to talk, see if it's right for you. Absolutely no pressure, but that's the next step. But outside of that, man, I do everything free live on here, showing you my strategy, showing you my approach, in Discord, calling out trades. I don't gatekeep anything. There's no secret strategy that I hold back. I charge for time for guys that say, I want somebody to work with me every single day and multiple times over the course of a month or a couple months, one-on-one, helping me develop a plan, hold me accountable, review. identify weak points, work on mindset, work on risk management, that type of stuff. But you know, not for most guys. Not for most guys. Yeah, this looks strong. This looks strong. But while we're talking about fun stuff, I got a Tradeify account giveaway rolling right now. Announced it this morning. Boom. 2 times 50K account giveaways. That's the post on X, on Twitter. It's repost, tag a couple friends, like it, follow, you know, all the basic stuff, and you're entered to win one of 2 Tradeify accounts. Be announcing the winners in a couple weeks, but all the details are on that post. Go ahead, help me out, help yourself out. Have the chance to snag a free 50K account from Tradeify. I have not a lot of followers on X, so I don't think that post will have a lot of people entered on it. So feel free to jump on. You don't want to do any of that stuff? No problem. Hang out with me here live every day. Hang out in the Discord. You don't have to do anything. Free means free. You don't have to like and subscribe. You never have to comment. You could just hang out and watch me do what I do. But I'll always be trying to promote fun stuff like that. Watching this thing come up and test the highs again. I'm waiting on this for this to break. Just continue, structure to develop, and then find a way in long. You know, that's what I'd be looking for. Take it much higher in the day. This is looking like a long play. Again, really aggressive entry would have been from down here. This is not enough direction for me, you know, to take it from down here. Would be paying so far, back up towards the highs. But stupid aggressive push to the upside. Stupid aggressive move back down, you know, to put a low in on the session. And then some chop around VWAP, albeit staying above. That's not enough for me to say I'm long, you know, right off the bat. You can with a really wide stop loss, you know, targeting a really, really big move to the upside. But that type of candle, not enough. This now looks very bullish. I'd consider it on a pullback if we got it even potentially below the high. But I'd like a continuation, pullback, you know, and then really look to be blasting off through this level. But this could be a choppy day. We could come all the way back down on this. So I want to look at volume on this. Yeah, aggressive. Aggressive volume to the downside. Support found. Aggressive volume to the downside there. This is interesting. Ooh, there's some volatility to the upside. That's the crack of the high. This is looking strong, guys. This may be a just straight up blast off from here. That's looking really, really strong. Pull back down to VWAP, take everybody out, and now the blast above the high. So I am looking long on this. Looking to find a way to structure risk. So it's going to be waiting for structure, you know, not buying the breakout above these highs like I talked about, but waiting to see what we do from here. But looking long, about 33 minutes into the session. No IB high and low set just yet. We'll see where we want to go from here. Watching Bookmap over on the side. We got a lot of liquidity at different levels. A lot is popping up on the book. Above and below price, really. Still a heavy stack at that big round number, 22,000 up here. Lost money in my XFA, but green in my combines. Nice. Looking for shorts in NQ. Just waiting to see if it touches or passes 21.9. 963. Trump talking about tariffs at 1. Ooh, yeah. That could be. For now, I'm locking myself. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Not a bad idea to lock yourself out. You know, especially if you just want to be done in the XFAs and not have to worry about it. Nothing wrong with a lock yourself out play. Sweep above so far. Pull back. Do we come back and hit 900? We come back to this area right here. Yeah, Dow not showing nearly as much strength. Still just sitting around VWAP. Really just chopping back and forth on almost every 5-minute candle at VWAP. NQ still pulling off, at least for right now. ES is looking strong. Buyers are trying it. Buyers are trying this level. That's a big line in the sand that we got to be looking at 22,000. Actually going to mark it. I want to be aware of that. Yeah, this is interesting structure to trade off of. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to get something off this. You know, the hesitation is being at such a large resistance zone up here and not wanting to take the breakout. Entry from way down here on this first push up would have been really, really clean. I don't know that I want it if we come all the way back down. I think I'm waiting for IB high and low on this. It's just very, very volatile, and it's calling for a really wide stop loss. And by the time, wow, there we go, all the way back down to VWAP after sweeping the highs. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out on this, guys. This is volatile. This is very volatile. You know, we're moving hundreds of ticks in the blink of an eye. Really, really aggressive. Again, if you're looking long, this is continually giving you setups, to look to take it really aggressively from down here with a wide stop. Coming down, taking out liquidity at 900. You know, we're not blasting through lows, but this is just volatile. This may be some big chop before we blast off, but this could also just turn into a really, really big back and forth day. So I'm going to wait on this. I'm going to wait at least the 22 minutes to get initial balance high and low. The first 1 hour of the session. I'm going to stay patient on NQ on this one. I don't mind talking about when I don't take a good setup. Most of the time, I don't miss a good opportunity. I don't really hesitate too much like that and not put risk on when something's setting up. I've come back to trading Dow and focusing on it really early in the morning, so I'm still getting comfortable, but that was definitely a nice trade today. That was for a missed opportunity. So at this point, I'm going to wait to see what happens when we start to get IB high and low. These aren't formed yet. This is so far the session range, but in the next 20 minutes, we're going to have these set once we get to 10:30, and we got some strong stats behind that. Bounces around VWAP, off of VWAP, would be playing for really, really, really low time frame movements. But that's volatile. That's really volatile. Sure we don't have anybody talking right now? Tariff concerns. Yeah. We know tariffs. Just checking news sites real quick. Make sure I'm not missing out on anything else that I want to pay attention to. 1030 natural gas. Yeah, no, nothing else really crazy showing. Yeah, sell back to VWAP. There you go. I don't like it as much like that on NQ, but there's your sell right back to VWAP. Yeah, really simple tool, volume weighted average price. It is a volume tool. It really usually coincides with areas of high volume, looking at visible range volume profile. I find Dow loves to hang out near areas of high volume, loves to come back to that middle ground. It's kind of that mean reverting instrument. And then eventually it picks a direction and takes off at some point, typically, and stops chopping. NQ can be a little bit more wild. It can really move in one direction before coming back down. And it also can be super wild at zones as far as these big wicky movements. So I'm a little bit more cautious getting really counter trend on it, unless we have something that's set up in a certain way. But this is aggressive. Buyer stepped right back in at VWAP. This is making a case to run back to the upside here. Yeah, man. Like, I think we are at a pivotal point, and if we make a decision to accept higher prices today, that this could be a large movement. This could be a large movement. I'm tempted to find my way in long and just hang on to it. Yeah, gnarly pullback to VWAP, getting bought right back up. This looks strong. This looks super strong. There's nothing that is showing downside for me. We're hammering against this area, and it looks like we want to try it again. And I think if we do, at a certain point, get above, we're in for a larger movement. We're headed to 22,000. Volatile, man, though. Like really whippy movements. A lot of volume being traded. Yeah, guys, I'd be cautious on this. I'd be really cautious on just from volatility. Go ahead and trade the way you're going to trade, but these are large, quick movements. As you can just see how these candles are forming, watching it with me, I would look to size down, to drop contract size, and widen out a stop loss, widen out a take profit. This is some fast movement, some really fast movement. Yeah, I'm looking at this long. I'm looking at this long. We're going to close this 15-minute candle bullish, it looks like. Buyers are not backing off around these highs just yet. We've sold back off stupid aggressively to these levels, found support, failed to get below. We're headed back up to the highs. I'm going to go really light risk and really wide stop loss. That's my game plan on this. I'm going to go down around this low. I'm long. I'm long from back up here. Really looking to preempt this breakout that we keep hammering against this zone. We come back down. We're not going to break out. We're, at least for right now, we're just going to chop around. We got to wick down, take everybody out, again. But we got so many of these crazy movements to the downside and then bought right back up. It's given me enough confidence to try it. There's also a lot of liquidity up above price. Big stacks of orders. we start to break to the upside, there's a lot of potential for this thing to move. I'll show you Bookmap real quick. A lot of liquidity that we can come into. This could also act like resistance, but I'm looking, if we start to break above and fill some of this, we're going to really see some volatility and potentially head towards these large orders up here. So I'm looking at this as a potential for a much larger movement to the upside. I'm no take profit, but blasting above here, blasting above 22,000 and continuing. I don't know that I would want to let it come all the way down below this wick. Looking at the 15-minute chart, the 5-minute chart, I don't think I want to allow for another test of VWAP. This has got to go here and now. I'm buying it way high up in the zone, and I don't want to let it come all the way back down here. So I'm not going to go below session lows like this. I'm going to go something like the 65. Let me just confirm this. Yeah, $147 worth of risk. That's my game plan. If I go really, really wide on it, I really am needing to capitalize on a massive movement to have a positive risk to reward. I'd like to see this thing go from now. And again, we need to come all the way back down through these lows again. I just don't stand a chance, and it's going to be a huge choppy day. So waited. Didn't take it aggressively down here. Didn't take it on the breakout this second time. But here we go to try it again a third time, hammering against this zone, putting higher lows. Buyers just super stepping in right around this VWAP area, around this level of structure. Again, I am buying into this heavy level that we've seen big reactions off of. So this is a risky play, looking at a higher time frame, right? Look at the harsh rejections that we've seen day over day, week over week, where we're trying it again. But we saw some of those harsh rejections intraday in this session, and now I'm looking for the decision to be made and for this thing to continue to the upside. So long, MNQ, one contract, right? One micro, keeping it really light. 21,938.5. Stop is at 21,865 flat. Not a whole lot of risk. $147. Been keeping it pretty light in these accounts, but opportunity for a larger move to the upside. We're trying it again. We'll see if we get a break, or if we need to come back down, check out VWAP a second time, and likely take me out. Again, I'm not going to go stop loss down here. I don't have an option from way up here to run a 200-point stop loss. If my entry was somewhere way down here, stupid aggressively on this first pullback, maybe I'd be down, somewhere in these overnight lows. But we're breaking, or not breaking. We're testing this high. Let me get rid of IB high because that's not IB high yet. We'll see what NQ's got for us. Right? Fully accept the loss. If we have to come back down, we understand this is a volatile day. Whatever risks we put on, we accept on the front end. If I have to end red, 147, or even if I get slipped a little bit, right? You always want to accept that. No problem. That's okay. But we're coming through this volatility, coming through this liquidity up here in Bookmap, eating it up so far. Looking strong. Buyers are trying to push this thing higher. We'll see if we're able to break out. Playing this for a directional move. Has to be a choppy day. I got to take the L on it, and that'll be that. Blast off, baby. I'd actually be very careful after the 970s. There's room to 22,200, 22,020 to the upside. Be very careful after that, after the 970s. Why? Why would you be careful? Let's hear the explanation. Such horrible PA. You can't get long, can't get short. What in the world is going on? This is really slick wicking me out long. My personal freaks. Yeah, this is tough. This is super tough. Again, I'm anticipating that maybe, right? I don't know. Maybe we got past some of that gnarly volatility. We got past some of that. We're going to come back up, sweep the high, and then sell, 100 points off, 92 points off. We did that like twice. So maybe we got past that NQ needs to mess around and piss everybody off, and now we're finally breaking. I'm taking it really high in the session, right? Really, really high. Not on a pullback. And we're going to see if we're going to make a decision here and actually move. Again, I need a larger movement to play out to make this worth it, but here we go. Blasting off right here. If you follow supply and demand theory, the supply zone from 22,010 to 22,080. Sure. This area up here, right? Area of high volume that we are going to try to come into right now. Could absolutely see that. Maybe we look to go stop loss to break even, but probably not. This is something that I'm going to look to hold for a larger movement, right? Got a really wide stop loss. I didn't take it with, 10 points of risk. I got quite a bit of risk as far as stop loss placement goes. So this really does have to play out to be a larger movement. I would look to hang on to this. This is probably something, we'll see what happens, but this is probably one of those where I'm going to hold into this next level, right? This 22,000, where I think we are likely to see a lot of resistance. This is a big level, ton of liquidity sitting up there. So here we go, coming right into it right now. I think we're likely to pop it. I don't know if we continue past it. I'm going to have to watch and see what happens if and when we get there. But that's the first line on my chart. But yeah, I see what you're looking at. But in the money, maybe you say, hey, Zach, this is a great trade and I'm done. Like I was talking about yesterday, there's no problem. Maybe you shouldn't be copying anything that I'm doing, but maybe you're looking at what I'm doing. You say, hey, if I was in that trade, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with catching 50 points on NQ, almost 200 ticks. Like I'm cool with that. You do your thing. You do your thing. Previous census, yeah. Price just cleared the previous week high. Yeah. Took profit 1 for 1. Live profit count net. Yeah, very nice, man. Very nice. I like it. Again, might hang on to it for now. We'll see. So far, if I have to let this winner turn into a loser, I will. I've got that comment a lot on trades that have been in profit where I don't go stop loss to break even really, really quickly. I find I choke myself out of a lot of good trades if I do it too quick. I'm cautious past this 22,000 level, though. I got to be honest. Right at this level of liquidity, it's just a big stack of orders on the book, almost 200 lots. I think we're really likely to pop that, but I just don't know if we blast off through it. I mean, it looks like we want to, but we could easily see a crack right here, or not even touch it. Find resistance right below, and then a turn really aggressively back down. My entry is not in a good spot to place a stop loss. I think this is a very, very simple area that can be retested, right? Simple break and retest of prior highs broken in an uptrend all the way even down here. So, here comes decision time. Is this something I want to hold on to for a really, really long play? Potentially a run to the upside and, make this a much larger movement? Or is this something that I just want to snag quick profit on and get out in an area where we might find resistance, we might pull back from? I'm going to watch as we come up. It wouldn't even be a one-to-one, which I really don't love doing, but that level is just growing. That level's just growing. So here's what I'm cautious of. You see the big line? I'm not going to leave this here for a while because I think we're going to crack, get close. You see that big, massive red lit up like a Christmas tree, almost 200 lots? That's what I'm looking at. I think the market can go there and grab that liquidity, seek it out potentially. If we fill and get above, that's a lot of sell orders right there. I don't know if more will get fed in. That's an area of caution. That's why this line is here on my chart. At a really, really big psychological note, it's still growing. Now it's like 216. Wow. Yeah. So I'm gonna be cautious if we pop this. I may take it. I may take it. That's a gnarly level to hold through. I'm gonna hold through it, but I'm probably gonna take this one off, guys. If we crack 22,000. Now that I'm looking at this. That's a heavy level. I'm making a conscious decision right now not to take it, to try to hold through it. That may not play out really well at all. We can go up there and find a ton of resistance right at that level. So just just thinking through as I'm talking to you guys here. Again, this could also turn into a very large day, right? So this we are setting up breaking above this level here. This could turn into a very large run to the upside. And by taking my quick profit, could be missing out on that movement. But I'm going to be cautious up at this level, and I think right now my game plan is to watch what happens first. Maybe we pull right off without even hitting it. To be cautious up here, kind of just watch what happens, and look to hold through it for a crack above, and then potentially get out, because I think we're likely to see a lot of volatility right there. Let's see. Do we want to try it again? Yeah, I'm gonna go stop loss to break even on this, guys. We're testing a level that can easily be held as resistance. I'm looking to take the trade off up here, so I really am not even gonna realize over a 1-to-1. At best, it would be close. So I'm gonna go stop loss to break even, and if it has to come back on me, it'll stop me out down here. I'll wait for some additional play. That's my game plan. This thing made it to, what was that, 40 3/4, 38.50. We made it 58 points in profit, past $100 in profit, where I'm risking 147. There's a lot of volatility today. I think that can maybe knife down on me. So I'm just going to go stop to break even. If I have to take the stop out at break even, happy with that. We're not cracking above. We're pulling off right at this level that I'm cautious of. So I'm going to go stop to break even. Going to make it risk-free. Again, I'm also taking into consideration that now I am making the decision that as we crack through here and see some volatility, I'm probably going to take the trade off. That tells me that at very best, I have an idea of what my profit would be on this. Do I really want to leave on a wide stop loss like that? No. Not unless I say, I'm going to hold through this, let whatever happens, and then blast off to the upside, because I'm looking for, $300, $400, $500 on this $140, dollar risk trade. Here we go for an aggressive pullback. So for those reasons, I'm going to stop to break even. I think it's likely to get stopped to break even on this one, but it's not, because I'm unsure. I'm not sure if we're going to come all the way back down. And I'm not looking to hold it for a massive move. So I hope that makes sense. Discretionary trade management, right? Trying to make the best decision based on what's happening on the chart with the data. I am discretionary with it. I use my subjective interpretation, and I'm not going to be right every day, right? We'll have plenty of days where I get stopped and this thing just blasts off. We'll have days where I get stopped and it continues lower. That's the risk that you take with moving stop loss to break even. Coming up on 1030. So this is going to be our IB high. Yeah, if we come back up through that 22,000, it's going to make the case for a move higher. But we'll see. We'll let it play out. Risk-free trade, right? In a good position. Can't feel bad about that. And we'll let it ride. In spite of the debacle yesterday, I kept my cool. Took a short, made $300, locked up, done for the day. Cool. Just 4 micros. This could possibly go higher. Another 40, 60 points. Yeah. You could possibly move the stop to break even. Yeah. Zach, why not put your stop loss in profit now? I mean, I know everybody has their own strategies, but it's unpredictable. Yeah. So a lot of traders and guys and girls like to throw that out there, and it's a good idea, right? It's a good idea, and we'll see how this plays out today. So before reading that, I'm stop loss to break even. The reason why not to do that is if the thesis is from a higher time frame, zoomed out, that I think price may go up. I'm reacting, right? I'm not anticipating. I'm not predicting. I'm reacting. I think based on this historic price action And where price is right now, I think price is likely to go up from here. And I'm placing my stop loss at a spot on the chart that I don't think it's likely to return to. If it does, it invalidates the trade idea, right? If I go stop loss to break even, I'm now saying this is my invalidation point. This is where I think if price comes down to that I'm wrong and it's no longer likely to continue in my direction. Do I believe that? Do I think that with this trade? There's always uncertainty. There's always unpredictability. Right now, I don't want to realize a loss if we don't continue from this area. And I think if we come down here, we are potentially likely to pull a larger wick down like we were doing earlier. So yes, I am making this my invalidation point. But the reason to not do that is you may find a lot of days where we just continue this back and forth volatility and then rip to the upside, right? Before coming down and touching your stop loss. So that's the case to not move stop loss to break even. Again, it's always easy to say, don't let a winner turn into a loser, go stop loss to break even. My humble opinion is let your data tell you, right? Let your data tell you. Review your trades and look at them and say, had I not moved stop loss to break even and gotten stopped out, would that trade have continued to my full stop loss? If that's the answer, yes, keep moving stop loss to break even. Did it continue in the direction of my trade farther than, the max profit? Without ever coming down to check my level out? If that's the answer, probably don't want to move stop loss to break even. So again, based on where I'm looking at taking profit now on this trade, and based on the volatility that we've seen today, and the level that we're approaching with a lot of orders stacking on Bookmap, right? New information as I'm in the trade, I'm making the conscious decision to potentially realize a loss, or to potentially realize a break even trade, and cut myself short of a good trade. But I'm a believer that most traders go stop loss to break even too quickly. They choke out good trades because they're fearful of letting profit turn back into loss. And it's a tough thing to do, to sit in a trade that's in profit and then watch it come all the way back down on you. But if you watch for long enough and you record your data, you journal, and you see that that happens where it stops you out and moves into profit, you need to make the hard decision and stop doing that. So, again, we don't know how it's going to play out. You look like a genius when you go stop loss to break even, and then it rips through your stop loss. And you look like an idiot when it stops you out and then rips in the direction of your trade. So I have discretion with it. Here we go. Back up to the 200s, the 22,000s. I have discretion with it. I'm not right every day. There will be days where I'm just dead wrong. But those are the reasons to not go stop loss to break even. I did it here. And we'll see how it plays out. You guys can come back on the chart, and we'll see if I take profit on this at any point or if I get stopped at break even. And, we'll see my original stop loss was down here, right? Below this, this 15-minute wick, 5-minute wick. We'll see, hey, do we come back to the 940s and stop Zach out and then continue? Or if we come back to the 940s, do we rip lower, right? And then that answers the question, why would we not go stop loss to break even? So you try to apply some consistency with it. Again, the way that I do it, it's discretionary. I think if you've watched the market for long enough, you have confidence in your system, your approach to be wrong some days, and you recognize that. It can be helpful. But for most traders, better to just set a pretty tough rule on trade management, because you usually don't get smarter once you're in a trade. You usually only get dumber. you only make poor decisions once the trade's on and money's on the line. Takes a while to get to a point where you're really confident and you say, hey, I may be wrong today, right tomorrow, wrong today, and you allow yourself that additional flexibility. All right, we're going to try these 22,000s again. Can we get through it? Trading out 993, 994. Got some liquidity at 95. It's coming on and off. Super thin to the downside. Super thin to the downside. I don't know. It's a big level. We may not break it. We may not break it. But again, if we crack above here, if you're watching this trade play out, I'm going to look to take profit. I'm cautious of holding through this. I think maybe we break and run, and this thing just turns into a massive day. But I'm going to look for a crack up to make this initial risk worth it, and because I think that's likely to happen. But stop losses at break even, making this just a risk-free trade. Probably join ask on the way out if we get up there. or maybe flatten out. Let's see. Yeah, man, we're struggling here. We're struggling. I don't know. I think I think we might pull another one of these. I would have loved to see this blast off just continue, rip right through. We're struggling here. We may need to pull a gnarly wick down very aggressively like we had earlier. We come back down below these 950s, 960s into 950s. I think that's what we're gonna do. Come and retest this level. But I want to see a breakout, and I'm going to hold it back to break even if I have to. Again, I'm going to cut this thing. I'm going to cut it in profit for a win through this level for the reasons that we talked about. But there's certainly a case to be made that's completely opposite to even what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. What was that on Bookmap? Did we actually fill it? I'm out on that one, guys. That was really interesting. It actually, sorry, I'm out on that one. I know I was staring at Bookmap. It didn't say anything. As we cracked 22,000, it actually, we did fill. It actually kind of blacked out for a second. That was really interesting. Actually kind of blacked out for a second, and it looked like we didn't go up and fill it. But I can scroll back and see that we did. Here's Bookmap. Here's the fill. That's the level that I've been watching, been cautious of. Cracked above it, really aggressive pull back down. We're starting to hold and continue to run. But I'm out for my small profit on that. But we did go up and fill. You can see it by the volume down here, the big volume bubble that's filled. Those orders traded out. Nice. Yeah, this looks strong. Looks like we might run today. Got a win. Happy to take a win. $123 across a few accounts. $375. I'm happy with that. Low risk, right? On a nice volatile day. Not even a 1-to-1 from initial risk, but we went stop loss to break even when it made sense. So we'll see what we get from here. Again, I'm cautious of some serious resistance at this level and a pullback, but this may just be the break above this level. We're holding, buyers in control, and we're going to run. In a situation where I have 2 contracts on, which I really like to have 2 contracts on, I'm definitely leaving a runner. I don't have that option today. 1 contract on MNQ, super light. I don't have an option to leave a runner. I don't have an option to scale out. If I had 2 on a trade like this, I'm definitely leaving stop loss at break even and only taking half profit. So if you're in a situation like that, you can decide to do that. But we got another wiener. Let's see. You guys had some chat. I do that too. Break even too soon. I get stopped out and price continues in my direction. Yeah. Unless there's buy orders on Bookmap to send it higher. Yeah. 15-minute close above. We have a bull day. Yeah. What's up, Diamond? You're right. If you were in your trade right now, I would put my stop loss. Long America. The way God intended. Nice trade. Yeah. Don't have much space in my trades. Let's go. Yeah, so, these 2 things. Those are sell orders, Ryan. So on Bookmap, above and below price, we are only seeing orders on the book above price to sell and orders on the book below price to buy. We don't see stop orders on Bookmap liquidity. So we're not going to see stop buy orders and stop sell orders. There's tools that show you it on Bookmap after the fact, essentially like stop loss tracking type of a deal. But we don't see that on the front end. So the stuff that's above price on the book, is on the ask essentially. Resting limit orders are what we're able to see on Bookmap. But yeah, I took it out. And then second piece, back to the stop loss to break even. Again, guys, there's not a right or wrong way to do it. It depends on your style. It depends on your trade thesis, on the time frame that you're trading, and most importantly, it depends on. Oh, man. Big volatility to the upside. That was a gnarly crack through all the way to the 30s. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. 1040, man, big volatility upside. Yeah, like I said, taking this off here, anticipating some potential reaction. Had I had 2 contracts on, I'm leaving a runner, right? Talked about that as I took it off. Because this thing may go, but that's a massive order, set of orders to hold through above a level of resistance. So for those reasons, I'm out. I will gladly watch this thing run all day and say, oh, if I just left that trade on. You have to ask yourself this, second piece, right? What does your data show? Are you going to hold every trade into oblivion and take a ton of stop outs for break even or all the way back to stop loss in the anticipation of catching a huge day to the upside? Or are you going to take profit based on XYZ? Same thing with stop loss. Go back to your data, look at your results, and it'll display trends. You'll see a lot of trades where you choke up and get stopped out. You'll see trades where, hey, every trade that I take profit on, it ends up running. Maybe that's the case to hold trades. Maybe you see a ton of trades where you're holding for these big moves and you say, I'm being greedy. This thing gave me, nice profit. I'm able to lock up a couple $100 and, and just move on with my day rather than letting everyone come back to break even. So style, approach, what are you going to do somewhat consistently? Again, that one I did shift a bit. Watching big orders at 22,000 at that big round psychological number, that was something that says, hey, you know what? That's too much uncertainty to hold through that level. We've seen a lot of volatility back and forth. Strong day, initial stop loss placement wide, but that shifted from, hey, I'm going to hold this thing, for a massive move to the upside into I'm going to look to take profit in an area that makes sense based on XYZ. So again, no wrong way to do it, right? But rely on your data. And, if there's more to be had out of the market for your trades, for your setups, go and get that. If you are choking up on trades too quickly, going stop loss to break even, and you get stopped and trades move in your direction, you have to look at your data and say, how many stop outs did I save versus how many trades I cut in profit that would have moved? And if you're not saving yourself and helping your P&L, you got to adjust that. So that's the thought process, guys. It happened because you took the trade off. If you would have held, it reverses back down. That's what happens to me. Yeah, guaranteed, right? If I left that one on, we're reversing. Yeah, no, it can feel like that. It can feel like that. But I promise you, the market doesn't care about me or you. It doesn't care about me and my TopstepX XFAs. It doesn't know where our orders are or what we're doing. It does not care. It can feel like it's personally out to get you. And it's funny to joke around about that. But what I would say is try to meditate and think about the market doesn't care about you. It doesn't know where your orders are. It doesn't know what you're doing. If you're constantly getting stopped out and having these really frustrating moves, you're probably doing really obvious, things that can be anticipated, and maybe you want to adjust a little bit, but the market doesn't care about you, or me. But it's funny, right? If you get into a situation where you make too much money on an evaluation, I read this tweet and it was hysterical. If you make too much money, let's say you're trying to pass a 50K and you go over the $1,500, you enter a mode of trading where you cannot physically take a loss. Any trade you put on trying to lose money to bring yourself back down automatically turns into a banger winner. The market just rips in your direction. It's hysterical. It's hysterical. Again, it's not true. It just feels that way. But yeah, this thing is blasted through 22,000. Massive move to the upside. Continuing, no pullback. A lot of volume traded on that second candle after we broke through. A lot of volatility to the upside. This looks like the break and run. This looks like the big break and run. Coming up to the next level, right? This area right here as we start to zoom out. Looking week over week on NQ. This is a serious level of resistance, right? We got above these highs that we were putting in here multiple times. And then today we hammered against multiple times. Got the breakout there. What happens up here? This is turning into a really big bullish daily candle. So again, this could be a massive move to the upside. where we just blast off through these levels and, you know, head for a massive movement. But I'm interested to see what we get up here. I would anticipate some resistance, but this is looking very strong. Very strong. We are not letting our foot off the gas. Can put this on IB high and low. Boom. Yeah, if we are looking for that to happen and you're anticipating this to continue to be a really big bullish day, you could look for an entry on a pullback, you know, back down to those. I'd probably look a little bit below the 22,000, like the 21,980s to 960s, right into the zone, into these highs. I think that would be a reasonable area to look for a second long, give you a way to structure risk. But this thing is off like a rocket, man. Off like an absolute rocket. Dow, not even close. Not even close to the same move. Like failing to get above the high, you know, prior to the open, the overnight high. So much different movement out of Dow. Chopped around VWAP for forever. Missed my beautiful entry on Dow. This should have been a nice, you know, a larger green day, which is frustrating, but it is what it is, man. You put your trades on. But this was the setup. If you go back and watch it, you'll watch me hesitate and not take it. But that's the setup. Right into the open. We're cracking above a high here, testing a level of resistance. You know, nice wide stop loss. Wouldn't have had to take a lot of heat on that. I'm looking at my entry potentially being like right here when I was scoping it out. Right back to VWAP. Beautiful positive risk to reward. What sketched me out on this one was these levels over here. But again, this is too far away, too far up. A blast off at the open, I don't know that I want to take it back to VWAP. So that's really not the setup. So this one is going to get journaled as a good missed opportunity. I don't have too many of them anymore, but that's definitely one. These moves set up quick. These moves set up very quick. It's usually right at the open, right after the open, or right into the open. So you got to be prepped and ready to go, and that's that. But we'll see what NQ does here. Do we pull back? We get a little bit of a pullback. I'm going to drop this in the chat again, guys. I'm giving away two. I would love to see it go to one of you guys that are on here watching me stream. Giving away two Tradeify accounts. 250K Tradeify accounts. Got to hop on that post on X. Do a little retweeting, liking, all that random stuff. Help me out, help you out, and get yourself a shot to grab one of two 50Ks. Pretty sweet. If you don't want to do that, no pressure. Just hang out. Hit like, subscribe. You don't want to do that, you can just hang out. You can just do nothing. And if you're not in the free Discord, hop in the free Discord, guys. I'll throw that on here as well. 100% free Discord. Boom. You guys want to check out Bookmap? You want to check out anything else? I got links to everything. Check the description of this video. But that link is not anywhere else but in the chat right there. And it's on Twitter if you want a shot to win one of those two accounts. And the link to join the Discord if it's your first time on here and you're not from the Discord already. I miss so much momentum when candles went straight up or down with so many little but dangerous pullbacks. Yeah. Again, there's momentum traders, right? You kind of sit around watching the chart, and it's what I was doing for a little bit on NQ, working pretty well on like the 5-minute 100-tick chart. Really just waiting to start to push in the direction that we've been moving for the day and look to jump right in with that momentum. You do take stop outs doing it, but it's much smaller trades, right? You're looking to grab, a smaller amount of points and ticks, in my opinion. But again, it's finding something that works for you every day and applying some consistency. That's what I find works. You know, we can't be momentum trend traders one day and then reversal traders the next day. I kind of have two plays on NASDAQ. You know, it's either a general continuation or a general reversal. Either way, I'm trying to flow with the higher time frame trend and look for the larger movement that may occur. That one I did adjust down a little bit. On YM, it's a very, very simple setup. It's back to volume, you know, back to the area of high volume. So, but no wrong way to do it. $55-point SL tap by 1 point. I have static SL and take profit. Crazy, but stuff happens. That's frustrating. That's frustrating, Ryan. Very frustrating. Yes, me too. But since this new year, they're no longer here. My exact strategy has been see profit, take profit, except today. I got you. I got you. Yeah, you know, it's in these markets, like the see profit, take profit move is not bad. We just have so much uncertainty and back and forth movement. So that would, you know, that would definitely be the play in general, but it comes down to what you're going to do consistently. You know, again, there's nothing wrong with taking a lot of stop outs, having a low win rate, and targeting larger moves, you know, in my opinion, as long as you do that consistently. And when you do get a larger move, you hang on to it and you're okay taking your stop outs. Conversely, if you're going to go for smaller movements, higher win rate, you know, yeah, you're going to not catch that larger movement, but you're not going to have to take as many stop outs. You're probably going to have a lower risk to reward, higher win rate, right? There's probably a balance in there for everybody that makes sense. And if you journal your trades or you use a trade journal, you should be able to get that data and adjust. Say, hey, I should be holding on to these for a little bit longer, or hey, I should be cutting these a little bit, you know, quicker. Should I be in right? No, you don't, like, yeah, you only gain levels in Discord by writing in Discord. But I appreciate it. I don't read Discord while I'm on here. Every once in a while, I take a peek at it. But I read the chat. I interact with everybody that's on here. So no worries there. But you'll level up in Discord, you know, just by talking. Do you trade YM differently from NQ? Yeah, I talk about that a lot. I talked about it quite a bit on here. But essentially the play for NQ. Ready? Let's do it for anybody that hopped on here late. And maybe we got a area of interest, support, resistance, supply and demand, order block, whatever you want to call it, an area up here and an area down here, right? Based on price action. And we have, where's my drawing tool? We have the VWAP line like this, right? Overnight. And we have price that looks like this. Kind of chopped around, right? We pushed up a little bit and we came back down to VWAP. And then maybe, like this morning, we did this, right? The play on Dow, and again, this is based on historical price action, right? We have a high up here and we have a low down here, right? We have reason to believe that this is a support zone. Price doesn't usually do that. If you see that, you probably don't want to trade. But anyway, the thesis, the trade idea on Dow is that off of the open, around the open, if we are above VWAP or an area of high volume, right? Because we probably have visible range volume profile over here that has a nice big, let's draw it out just so we can like really be, right? We have visible range volume profile that's over here, right? And we're kind of like, whoa, look at that. We got a lot of volume right here, right? Big peak there. And then, you know, we kind of come down and we got a little bit more volume over here. The idea, the thesis, which you can go and back test yourself and decide if this is something you want to pay attention to, is that if we open up and we test, or we are testing a resistance zone or an area of volume or consolidation above VWAP, above the area of high volume, we are likely to return back to that area near the open before we do anything else. If we open up below, conversely, I'm looking for a buy back into that area. So this is exactly what I was looking for today and what I've been looking for every day, and it's been paying this week. That type of movement right there. It's the exact play that we had set up right here, right? Look at what I just drew out. This is the area that I had marked on my chart from yesterday. Potential area that we might return to. You could have just marked it off of this high. We returned to that, tested it, and then we came right back down to VWAP. Very simple. Very, very simple. That's essentially the really, really simple, dumb setup that I like to take on Dow. It's a mean reverting, wiki type of pair, and I play off that volatility at the open to capitalize on it, right? We saw it yesterday. Here was the play yesterday. I could pull it up for you guys. There was the play yesterday. Can you guys see this? Yeah. So Lone Wolf, I hope this answers the question. Here was the play yesterday. Extremely simple. At the open, waiting for price to test the resistance zone, support zone. We had a large stack of liquidities that helped me out. Took it back towards this area of high volume. It did, in fact, reach VWAP, but this was a nice 1.6, 1.7 R trade. $200 across 3 accounts. Simple. Does that always happen? No. You are counter to trend, or at least what's happening right there, the low time frame trend. You're entering really aggressively as price is above VWAP or below VWAP, counter to that movement. So what will happen? Sometimes that stop loss is just going to get blasted through. We're going to get ran through. But that's the setup. Hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Sure. Yeah. Again, very, very, very simple setup. Nothing magic. Just super, super simple. You could call it support and resistance, supply demand trading, whatever you want to call it. I would describe that as using market structure and price action and volume to anticipate a move back to the middle ground, right? We know that area has so much volume there because price is somewhat at equilibrium, right? Whatever narrative we want to create. But we could just look at it from a pattern perspective and say, hey, here's what happens a little more often than not, and it gives me a good way to structure risk. Done. That's that. Again, I add Bookmap in to be really cautious. Like maybe we got a massive level up here. I want to be a little bit cautious, but I think you could do it without order flow, if you wanted to. So in any event, guys, this was fun. We got another win. Nice to hop on here and grab a win. I did miss this one. I would have liked this to be a $1,000 day, $1,200 day, and I had an opportunity for it. Instead, it's a 300 and let's go exact so we don't get yelled at and get called a scam. Maybe a 369.78 day. That's probably what we're looking at right here. So anyway, guys, appreciate you hopping on here. Hit like, hit subscribe, join the giveaway through X. All you got to do is comment and like and all that BS. If not, hope to see you in Discord. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Make sure you do your own research. Nothing I say here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. I appreciate you guys hopping on here. I will see you tomorrow again, 9:30 a.m. live trading. Talk to you guys then.